Bonjour! I had so much fun yesterday making a video for you guys about travel tips to France. As soon as I stopped recording, I started thinking about a bunch of other things. So I thought I'd come back on today and make another video. Now this one is really, I think I thought it out a little bit more than the one for yesterday. Not too much though, okay? It's really mostly about restaurants. So it's not so complicated. Of course, you've practiced your restaurant vocabulary. You're ready to go. You go to a cafe. Oui, bonjour. Je voudrais un café, s'il vous plaît. Everything is awesome, but sometimes there are some little cultural differences that you maybe would not have anticipated if I didn't tell you about it. So here's the first thing. When you're in France, this is not in any order of importance, by the way. When you're in France, do not be shocked if you see a dog in the restaurant. It's true. People bring their dogs to restaurants. Now, I was talking to a French girl about this yesterday, a teenager, and she told me, oh, mais non, c'est pas possible. I said, yes, they do. Just a few weekends ago, I was in a restaurant. My niece had her dog with her, for one thing, so I had a dog at our table. The waiters, they're so cool because they bring over little bowls of fresh water for the poochies. And another couple came in with a dog. Nobody got upset about it. And I tell you, it's not the first time I've seen this. Over the last 20 years in France, I've seen it like a million times. It's just a thing here. So, even though it might not happen in your country where you are, here in France, voila, they let dogs in, well-behaved dogs in restaurants. Probably not in a five-star restaurant, or a Michelin star restaurant. Of course not. We're talking about little everyday sort of family-owned places. Okay? Voila, so dogs. How about I made myself a little list? Oh, yeah. So I'm American, right? So I come from a culture. I'm not so used to it anymore because my husband's French and my kids are French, so they kind of do it the French way, and I've had to adopt their culture. But usually, at least I grew up, I was in the South, so we had iced tea all the time. But we also drank Coke and all that good stuff, and we always put ice in it. Even if it just came out of the fridge, we always put ice in it because that's the way it is. No, pas en France, not in France. So if you go to a restaurant, you might order un coca, for example, a Coke. They don't call it Coke because if you say Coke in French, it's like cocaine. So you have to say un coca. If you order un coca, maybe you'll get a couple of ice cubes with it, and maybe you won't. So if you don't, then all you have to do is ask for it. What's the word for ice? Well, ice is glass, but ice cubes, des glaçons. Excusez-moi, je peux avoir quelques glaçons, s'il vous plaît? Voilà. Okay, so there's the ice deal. Maybe you should try it without ice. Wonder what coca would taste like if it hadn't been watered down by melted ice. It's actually quite good. And here's the thing. This is just off the top of my head. Did you know that here in France, Coca-Cola tastes better than it does in the US? So I did a little research on this, but I'm not a Coke person. Really, I prefer a glass of wine, quite honestly. But sometimes when it's really, really hot outside, I just want a Coke. I never enjoy it in the United States. I don't think it tastes that great. But I come to France. For a while, I thought it was the glass bottle. Wow, that glass bottle really makes the Coke taste much, much better. And then I realized not only is it the glass bottle, because I do think that that plays a role, but it's also the fact that they don't make the Coke with high fructose corn syrup. They make it with sugar. Lots of sugar. It's still full of sugar, but at least it's real sugar. And I tell you what, it tastes awesome. So maybe you need to just try that when you come, even if you're not a Coke person. But don't get the Coca Light. That's Diet Coke. In France, they don't say Diet Coke. They say Coca Light, L-I-G-H-T. They still use the English word, but they don't say diet. Why? Because I've also done research on this. People, when they think in their mind, diet, it's negative. It's a negative connotation. It's a different kind of culture over here. People don't want to talk about being on a diet. So they call it Coca Light, and it sounds better. Diet? No, who wants to do that? That's no fun. All right, so we talked about ice. So tips. If you're coming from a country like the US, for example, we always add 15 to 20% tip for the waiter or waitress, for the server, excusez-moi. And that's really a big way of how they make their living, right? With the tips. Here in France, no matter if you're getting good service, bad service, no service, whatever, you're still paying le service. Le service est compris. So the tip is included. The real word for tip is pourboire. But when you see on the menu le service, the service, le service est compris, it means the tip's included. It's always included. Now here's a little something that maybe you didn't know. It is customary still to leave a couple of coins on the table. If you got good service, if the server was especially nice or something like that, it's customary to leave a couple of coins. If you're in the US and you leave a couple of coins on the table, it's like an insult. I'd rather have nothing than your couple of coins. But here in France, honestly, if you leave a €1 or €1.50 or €2, it's really, really nice. And they appreciate that. I mean, don't leave your little pennies. But you can leave a little something. It's sweet. If you leave 20%, you can have a very, very, very happy waiter on your hands. If you want the check, because at some point you're going to want the check. You want to leave. Don't get in a rush. Things take time, especially if you come down to the south where I live. Oh my God, things take a lot of time. You just can't be in a rush. It's not going to happen fast. If you go to a restaurant in France, nothing about it is going to happen fast. So if you need a quick meal, then you can go to Quick. That's the French McDonald's. It's called Quick. I've never eaten there. I don't really recommend it. But the point is, when you need your check, first of all, how do you say check? It's l'addition, spelled like addition in English. L'addition. Excusez-moi. L'addition, s'il vous plaît. Je pourrais avoir l'addition, s'il vous plaît? L'addition. But if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. It's kind of rude, in their opinion, to bring you the check before you've asked for it, because they'd be kind of like rushing you out. Sometimes I know, like in the US, when we go to restaurants, again, it's just a different culture. When they would bring our food, they'd bring the check along with it. So you get it in your mind right away. Man, I better hurry up and gobble this down, pay for it, and get out of here because they've got other tables after me. No. En France, it's not like that. You can just take your time. You can sit there all day long. All right? Très bien. Don't forget that. It's super good. And try to get a table, if the weather's nice, on the terrace. If you have a restaurant that has a terrace, outdoor seating, those are the coveted spots. But I'll tell you what, if you're really allergic to cigarette smoke or if it bothers you, you should be careful about sitting on the terrace. Look around. Make sure no one's smoking, because now that it's illegal to smoke inside, that's where everyone wants to sit. Everyone who smokes, they want to sit outside on the terrace so that they can on and on and on and on and on throughout the whole meal. So, you know, if it bothers you, you might be disappointed by that. Les toilettes. I just wanted to mention the restrooms in restaurants. First of all, they call the restroom les toilettes. It's plural. Les, L-E-S, toilette. T-O-I-L-E-T-T-E-S. Les toilettes. It's feminine and it's plural. So you don't say la toilette. S'il vous plaît. Allez. You don't say la salle de bain either. But if you look in your dictionary, it says bathroom, salle de bain. Why don't you say salle de bain? Because there's no bath in there. So in France, even like here in our apartment, les toilettes are on that end of the hall. And I make it plural because in French it's plural. Anyway, I can't speak English right anymore. All right, so les toilettes are on this end of the hall, and la salle de bain is on the other end of the hall. What do you think about that? In the restaurant, or in any kind of public place, they're not going to have a salle de bain. So it's kind of silly. Maybe it could be a little embarrassment for you if you would ask the waiter, excusez-moi, où est la salle de bain, s'il vous plaît? I mean, they'll probably get what you're talking about because it's not the first time it would have happened, but you want to do it the right way. So, les toilettes. Les toilettes. Sometimes you could be a little astonished to see that many of the toilettes in restaurants, especially in Paris, are unisex. And I mean, you really might be surprised because I've walked into toilettes. I walked into the toilet, and I swear, I'm not joking. The same is true in like service stations on the side of the road. You know, when you're going on a trip or something on the autoroute, and you stop in a service station. Sometimes the toilets are unisex, and so they have the urinals lined up for the men. And I mean, you have to walk in there. You have to walk in there. I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing, but just you don't care. You just go. You just go and you do your thing. And good luck if you have a baby because it's not such a French thing to have changing tables. I have seen those in service stations, but not in restaurants. One time the waitress told us to change the baby on the table, but that was in the afternoon when no one else was there. So I did it. I did it. What are you gonna do? You've got a baby. So let's see what else. Les toilettes. Sometimes this has nothing to do with the restaurant because you won't find a toilet like this in a restaurant. But if you're like in a rest stop, rest area on the side of the road, something like that, one of those rest areas where you stop and you have a picnic, you might find a Turkish toilet. Do you know what that is? Google it. A Turkish toilet. That's what they call it. I guess it's really Turk. I don't know. Turkish. Well, it's basically you can't sit down. It's not a problem for guys, but for girls and ladies, it's a problem. Just kind of they have a little place you put your feet in. And I'm not going to go any further than that. Google it, and you'll find out what you need to know. And one more little note I made for myself. People don't do that. I know you wouldn't do this. But sometimes people have seen in movies, or especially maybe older movies, that when you need the waiter, you snap your finger and you say, "Garçon." No. 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 No, 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 no. Don't do that, please. It won't be taken very well. Just so you can get the person's attention. I have to tell you something else while it's on the top of my mind. Then I have to go get my kids from school. I keep looking at the clock. Because, kids come home for school, for lunch. They have 2-hour lunch break. And now it's 11:30. So I have to get over there and pick them up. Okay, but I wanted to tell you, oh no, shoot, I had something. Darn it, and then I got off the topic. Oh well, I guess that means I'll have to come back. Shoot, it was good too. Can't remember what I was going to say. Oh well, anyway, if you want to watch, if you didn't see yesterday's tips for traveling in France, then you can click. I put a little link right up there. You see it? And go on and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to make a lot of little videos like this, and I hope that you'll enjoy watching them. Let me know if you have any other tips for the restaurant. And I'm sure as soon as I hang up, I'm going to think of the one I wanted to tell you. So maybe I'll write it in the comments when it comes to me. Okay? Bye. Ciao. Bisous.